Yo, people, what's up again? It's your boy, Yardman Leng from Airsoft Special Ops. And today I just want to do a quick update video on two things that mean so much to me. So mags. Anyone who knows me knows I've been talking about upgrading eventually to a HPA kit. And I managed to buy one. One of my boys, he's actually out in, I think he lives out in Manny or Bristol or one of them places. He was getting rid of one, and it was the tank is brand new, the line is brand new. I think it's just the regulator that has been used before. So what I'm basically gonna do is reservice two of my mags. One of my extendos, unfortunately, it's been used so much and dropped so much that it's now leaking. So I'm gonna reservice this and see if by putting in a new valve, I'm able to use this as one of my test mags for my HPA kit, which, if I'm to be honest, I think is doable. I think it's just work to be done. Like, I watched this YouTube video where you basically have to remove that valve that's holding it and input a new valve. Is the long and short of it. And same with my Vosk 1911 mag. It's the same thing. You basically just remove that, replace it, and you're good to go. Yeah, I think this video is going to be a short and sweet one. Very simple. I managed to buy, so I'm still learning, so you guys bear with me on this one. I had to buy these HPA fitting gas magazine valves, and you have to buy the right ones, because depending on what line you have, there's EU versions and then there's another one. I think it's like EU and US. Yeah, it's US and EU. That basically is the difference between the let me open it and show you. That's the difference between the size of this fitting. So well, no, not that side, this side, sorry. It's the difference between the size of this fitting, and this is the side that essentially fits onto your line. And for those of you who don't know what a line is, I'll probably chuck it in the video so you guys can see. It's the thing that connects to your tank on one end, and it's the thing that also connects to your mag, because this would obviously sit inside my mag, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna have to drill that one a little bit. Oh no, it's the wrong way around. So that screwy side would go inside my mag, for example, and then this bit is what would be connected to my line, and then the other side would be connected to my tank fill off air. So yeah, they weren't, how much did I pay for them? Like, one thing I will say, I saw quite a few of these, and it took me quite a little while to try and work out which one was the one for me, if that makes sense. So guys, research. Sorry, it's late. research. Always check what other people are using. Always check what's recommended, because one thing with a lot of these suppliers, what they will always do is like recommend things. So for example, like with my pistols, I noticed that the supplier always on their website will say recommended that you use this mag, or recommended that you use this gas. Or if the supplier or the manufacturer doesn't say that, what you can always do is go into forums and read. I often do read before I buy things, because sometimes you'll think it's a good idea because it looks nice on a website, but in all honesty, it probably isn't worth your money. So do research. This video is going to probably be a short one, because until I'm still awaiting the tank and the line and the regulator to arrive, because obviously my boy sent it, but he does live quite far out, and this was only probably about a day or two he sent it ago. So I have to wait for that to come to be able to show you the full setup. But I kind of just wanted to talk over the factor of the valves have come, and the fact that I have to actually do some work and get these changed. I probably will do them tomorrow at some point, because it's not, maybe even tonight, because it's not very hard. Like, you essentially, I'll show you guys quickly. You essentially want to pop that on your mag, slide it forward, so that would come off your mag, which is the plate. Anyone who knows where I can get custom plates, shout me, man. I so need some good metal custom plates. And then obviously you would remove this which you can do with a screwdriver. So if I had one right now out, I would have done it for you guys on cam. And essentially what happens is the valve that came originally in the mag, you screw out, and what will happen is this little chamber here will almost like lift itself. Don't panic. And I think I see where it might be leaking, you know, but it's not on set, it's not tight, if you know what I mean. There's dirt in there, so maybe that's what I need to do. I need to maybe give it a clean, and maybe that will solve the problem. But for the moment, let's focus. You'd obviously screw that out, and then I've bought some tape. I cannot ever remember what this tape is called. It's called PTFE tape, and it's basically a thread sealer. How you use it is, I would normally like rip only a little, like enough to kind of go around once and overlap a little bit. You don't want to put too much, and then you always want to screw. You want to wrap the tape in the opposite direction. No, you want to wrap the tape in the direction that you're screwing, so it threads in. If you wrap it in the opposite direction, all that will happen is it will wear away the tape. And the whole point of that tape is, it's just common sense, right? It basically fills your thread, so there's less chance of gas releasing. This is something that a lot of people I've not heard talk about, thread tape. A lot of my brethren, I've heard them say, oh, my HPA kit's leaking. I really reckon, guys, it's this PTFE thread seal tape. You know what I'm saying? So much mouthful, guys, make this easier for us. PTFE thread seal tape, and the dimension of this one is 12 by 12 millimeter, and I believe the width is 0.075. Let me show you quickly how it looks. It's like a normal roll of tape, but it is a white thing. Like I said, you don't want to use too much, because it's basically like, even now as I just pressed it, it's like plastic, so it's like, it's kind of hard to use if you don't know what you're doing, but it is probably the most useful thing for your mag thing, because trust me, it's like, it does its job. But you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, what I tend to do is wrap it twice, but I wouldn't advise that the first time you do it, just because you may thread it wrong, and in theory you'll just do damage, because it won't do what it needs to do, because it will kind of burn itself away as you rotate it. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think I will do that one tomorrow. This is a must to be done tomorrow. Yeah, that's that, guys. Do you know the maddest thing is, I could probably do it on cam for you guys. I just don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow, guys. But should I just do it and done? Because I would actually like to show you guys, it is actually quite simple. I think the biggest problem I'll have is on my Vosk mag, because I don't think I can remove the plate on this one, which is actually quite interesting. I didn't realize the 1911 mag thing you cannot remove, but I believe it's because it's a Vosk one. Vosk are always kind of like extra like that. They make sure that they stamp it in their own way, and that whether the gun or the build of the mag is slightly different from the others, because the 1911s that I've seen from like WE or other companies is kind of like this one, where you can kind of just clip it off and clip it on, whereas this looks like it's kind of bolted on in some way. So again, commenters, if you know how to remove that, help a nigga out. But yeah, and that's never ignorant, getting gold to cheat. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna basically show you guys the updated product, because I feel like I'd have to set up the camera different to be able to actually show you what I'm doing. So I will do the work, and then I will show you the outcome. And I think also what I'll do is, at some point, if you guys make inquiries that you would like to physically see how it's done, just comment and like and share and subscribe, and I'll make sure I do a video of that directly, where the camera is just focused on the mags and the tape and stuff, so that you can physically see what's happening. All right. And I think the last thing I probably want to talk about, because this is also something I bought. This didn't come from a sponsor. Online, when I was looking at singulars were being sold for like £15, £20, £25 just for the singular. I was able to grab 5 of these, and they're actually high quality ones. 5 of these for 20, I think I paid $26.99, and you're probably like, oh, that's expensive. No, HPA takes your game to a whole nother level. So to have the valves that can convert with mags that you already have, it's a no-brainer. Like metal mag, like I'll give you an example. This mag is about 30 on eBay. It was 30. I didn't buy it from eBay, but they sell these on eBay for about £40, £39.99 or £34.95. So you're either paying £35 or £40 just for this mag. I'm getting 5 adapters so I can convert it. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? And you're probably like, oh, it's the same price of a mag, but you see, with HPA, if you were to buy a HPA convert kit, most people tend to buy like drum mags. That's at least £100, at least, and that's a rubbish one. Like you want a decent one, you're starting at the range of about 150, 170. So do you see the difference? Like, I am not having to buy a new mag. I can convert it for £30, and I can convert more than one for £30. I have 5 of these. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? So if you notice, I'm converting one of my 1911 mags, which is an extendo, and then I'm converting a Glock mag, which is extendo, that's the whole point of what I'm saying. The one tank I've bought, the one line I've got, I'm due to buy more lines just in case that one breaks, because that's important. The worst thing is your line breaks on the day, your CO2 tank is fine, your valve and your mags is fine, and you have no extra line. Always have a backup line, because then it's just a quick switch and you're back in the game. What was I saying? But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is like, from one line, one tank, and these 5 adapters, I can essentially turn 5 mags into HPA for any gas gun. Do you know how cool that is? If you're a person who has, I don't know, gas rifles, gas pistols, as long as it shoots gas and the mag is like this, it has like a valve at the bottom or on the side, you can convert it. So you won't have to, the worst thing which I always say to people is that when you do upgrades like new guns or get other type of upgrades, you tend to have to change your whole mag system or maybe your whole gearbox. Or if you play this game, you know what I'm talking about, right? For £30, I'm able to take existing things I own and repurpose them. Do you know how cool that is? £30. But anyways, I don't want to sound like I'm paid to promote this, because the truth of the matter is I'm not. Like I said, I volunteered to buy this, and it's because I feel like it would just take my game, especially my pistol game, to a whole nother level, because I don't currently have any gas rifles yet. But pistols right now, oh my Jesus, the game has changed. And you're probably thinking, oh, but the capacity is the same. The gas isn't the same. You see, the one thing with these kind of mags is the chamber just isn't that great. Like when you first buy them, maybe for the first month or so, depending on how often you played, they are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they're good fun. But what you tend to learn is and I only learned this over time, I had to lose a couple mags to understand how it works. If you leave these loaded with gas for more than a day, like, you're gonna damage your valve, your chamber. And just hear me out, because I know some people are gonna be like, oh, you're chatting shit. Hear me out. Unless, how I tend to do things now as opposed to before, I would fill my mags like 4 days before the game. Now they're sitting with tension on the spring that doesn't actually need to be there, just like now. But I feel this just for the video so you guys could see it. And those are not gaps, those are black BBs. Some people are gonna be like, oh, you didn't fill your mag properly. Like, bro, they're black BBs. I've got a mixture of BBs. What was I saying? If the gas sits in the chamber for 4 days, for example, or even a week or two, where you're not using the gun active, all that happens is it finds ways to release. That's how science and the world works. If there's a chamber, bro, it can only hold so much pressure for so long. So what I tend to do, like now, if you look, I can press my release and there's nothing in it. And that's why I do it that way, because I damaged mags leaving gas in there and forgetting it was even in there. Or sometimes, like, you know, you want to use a gun for maybe personal protection or house safety or whatever it is, and it's like you leave it and say nothing happens that week, or now the chamber's just sitting with gas for no reason. So one thing I always will say is release it. Like, even daily, what I tend to do is, like, one of my boys in America, he's like, he uses his for house protection, because he kind of lives on like a farm type, barn type location thing, so he gets like predators and all these things. I said to him, fill your mag, but don't fill it to the top so it's not full. What I tend to do is like gas it quick, because then you at least know, say your mag holds like 23, you know that you're at least gonna make it through 15 before you need to refill that mag. And one thing I like with Glock mags is the chamber tends to be a lot bigger than say the 1911 chambers. So what tends to happen is like, if you were to hard fill it, you probably would make it through that 23. Because if your chamber is full, what would happen is you'd be able to do 23 times 2, so you'd be able to fill it again with another 23 and still maybe have 1 or 2 shots before the gas goes. Do you get what I'm saying? That's one thing I rate Glock mags for. Like the chamber is a lot better than these, like, and I think it just goes down to the size of the actual mag. Like if you look at the difference, there is a whole difference in size, so I think that's what that is. But I don't think there's anything more to say. Like, to do this transformation, all you do need is backup mags, obviously, for actual gas guns, and you obviously want to buy these little valves, and then you want to make sure that you have some PTFE tape, and it's basically thread seal tape. That's what it is. So yeah, and with those things you can convert it, and then obviously after, well, you convert your mags so that they can go into the gun and connect to your line. And what you will need is a line, an actual tank. It doesn't matter the size too tough. Obviously, depending on what kind of player you are, you might want a bigger or a smaller tank. But or if you have a refiller at home, you might want, or if you don't have a refiller at home, you might want a bigger tank. Then you can go to the game, for example, fill your tank, and it would last you longer. If you get what I mean. If you have one at home, then it doesn't really matter. You can go for a smaller one. But yeah, I kind of went for a bigger one because I don't have a refiller, so it makes more sense. Yeah, I think that's that. You know what I'm saying? HPA kit. When it's actually set up and stuff, I'll do another video and show you how it works and how to connect it and all of that. But I just thought it's wise to show people, because even me, when I bought the tank and the line and that, I was very confused how I was going to convert my old mags. I thought I was going to have to buy a new mag, which technically you can if you want to, but they're just mad expensive. They're like $250 just for a new mag. I was just like, what? It's just because I want to use HPA. So obviously I found solutions. You can convert your older mags. You obviously have to keep refilling it with BBs, but it is what it is, people. It is what it is. You're saving yourself 250 quid.